I give really useful homework assignment, those that we are using in at work in Silicon Valley. I just scale it down into level of the class and give it to you. But by no means I am able to give you trivial homework assignments. No. Okay, all of my classes are like that. If you have taken courses with me, you know one more complicated than the other one from some point of view. But these are not complicated. They need a bit more time. Okay, Mr. Abbas, you've taken many courses with me, right? No. Anna, very complicated. Will be available soon. Okay, we have finalized it. We have everybody got his or her own teaching schedule for the spring. We are preparing now for course outline and syllabus, and also we're ordering textbooks for the next semester. So we are very busy with all of these mundane activities. Okay, for spring. Someone sent me already an email that was what course they're going to teach. I'm going to teach several courses, but those that possibly would be useful for you is right after this course, we are offering CS211E. Which is the Java Enterprise Edition. Some people use Z for enterprise, depending on how to do that enterprise edition. Okay. This is a really, really good course. It's not trivial course, guys, as some of you possibly guess. I'm going to provide a lot of good projects for you in this course. This is a course that is teaching you how Java is working in client-server environment, okay? And talking about JSP and RMI and networking, deep inside networking. We are talking about socket programming and client programming and server programming and how to create server, how to create background processes, a lot of things we're going to learn. This is a really good program, very good course. And there are a lot of demands for enterprise version of Java, okay? So if some of you want to continue your Java learning, I highly recommend you to take Java Enterprise Edition. We are offering this once a year, every spring. And I can tell you, class is getting full very fast. It means when you come in spring, you see the corner to corner, the students are waiting to get into this course. Okay, I'm telling you now, it's a very crowded class. Okay, not quite. For those of you who want to learn Android programming, I am offering CS211D, which is an introductory course to Android programming, and CS311D, which is the advanced Android programming. Those of you who took introductory course in Android with me are definitely waiting for advanced one, and we are offering advanced Android programming this coming spring. Okay, very good course, and I highly recommend you take it if you like Android. Okay, anybody has any comment or question? No? Okay, so this was about courses which I'm offering next semester. I'm gonna forward here. Okay. Now,
I do have a question. 211D, is that offered twice a year?
Maria, very complicated? No. So not very complicated. Okay. Okay. A little bit. The schedule for the course, right? We never had any news already. The very first exam in this course. whatever I've covered so far, including whatever I'm going to cover tonight, possibly I'm going to ask a question, okay? A question that I have made for you, are not writing a full or complete program. No, we don't have time to write a complete program from A to Z. This is not the subject of midterm. Questions are short, okay? And maybe write a function, write a method to do such and such things, or what does this method do, or this kind of thing, okay? Or for example, make a method to display all of the methods. It's a reflection, okay? You call it show methods, okay? This kind of thing. That all are very small, but good questions. So no true or false questions, no multiple choice questions. I'm not going to ask you what's the difference between, for example, for loop and for each loop. Okay, we don't have this kind of thing. Okay? It's just a program course, and everything is programmed. I have made 10 questions for you. 10 questions, very short question, and it will take about 45 minutes to answer to all of these 10 questions. 45 minutes. So next week, when we get together, first of all, like tonight, I'm going to give you a new lecture, new subject, as usually we do, and after that we go for a break, 10 minutes break. When after the break we get back together, I'm going to distribute the questions, and we have time all the way to the end of the lecture to talk about it, to answer the question and so on, right? So I'm not going to give you a question at the beginning of the class. I'm going to give you after the break, okay? Question already made and already accepted by the department and faculty members, everything, everybody. So ready to be given to you guys, okay? Open book, open notes. You can bring a stack of books with you if you want. You could bring entire manual of Java if you want. But the only thing is computers are closed. And as you remember, I explained in the first lecture, in the first meeting, cell phones and some other electronic gadgets are closed, okay? But books, manuals, okay, and doors are also open. Just go out, come back. Okay. Following. Anybody has any comment or question about the midterm exam? 40 points maximum grade for the midterm exam, right? Normally after the midterm exam, I give some extra credit homework assignments. Extra credit homework assignments are for those who got a low grade in a midterm exam, or they want to raise the grade for whatever reason, okay? And they are optional, they don't have to do that. If somebody doesn't want to do it, doesn't no problem. Wants to do it, he's going to do it and raise his or her grade up, okay? Clear? Due for all of the, I'm going to answer the question, please put down your hand. Due for all of the extra credit homework assignments, the end of the semester. So you have plenty of time to get help and give me the solution and do it end of the semester. So there is no rush to do that. I'm going to give you at least 2 or 3 extra credit homework assignments in this course just to raise your grades if you want to do that, okay? Clear? Yes, sir.
Do you know how many questions about the midterm will be?
I cannot hear you.
Sorry, how many questions?
How many? Okay. There are 10 questions. 10 questions and about 45 minutes time, okay? Questions are short, not long. Short, okay? So, actually, in my opinion, in less than half an hour, you are ready to go, okay? But you still have more time to do. Okay? Time is not a big deal, okay? Any other comment or question? No? So make sure you're going to bring your books, notes, and everything next week, especially yourself here. Bring yourself, okay? And good luck. Now we get into our subject. First of all, if you remember, we started talking about generics last time, right? Some students sent me an email and said, Abbas, tough subject. Tough subject. No, it's not. It's a little bit weird subject, different from the other, but it's not that tough, okay? Before getting into our main subject, generics, I wanted to talk about some other things that somehow will relate to the generic subject. I remember week, I brought the subject of assertion, and I asked you if you guys are familiar with assertion. And only a couple of students raised their hands, the rest of them no, didn't. So I promised you that I'm going to talk about assertion now. Assertion is a very good tool when we are testing our programs, okay? Normally, if you look at the test programs, more than half of the entire code is nothing but assertion, okay? Assertion. Assertion is a way that you are proving to yourself that everything is running correctly, okay? Assertion is normally run at runtime, not at compile time. So compiler has no effect, or compilation has no effect on assertion, okay? So when you run your program, assertion is gonna come over there and see if your instruction is correct or not. If the instruction is correct and everything goes okay, assertion is gonna be quiet, silent. Nothing is gonna happen. But if something wrong happens, assertion is gonna complain, okay? And it's gonna give you error message, okay? And you see the error message. It says error on such and such line, such and such problem. It's gonna tell you. So this is really important to learn about assertion, okay? Because in any, wherever you're working, eventually you need to use assertion to test your program, okay? By default, Java virtual machine has or is disabled for assertion, okay? It means Java virtual machine does not take care of assertion, okay? It means all of your assertions automatically will be ignored. But you need to enable it, okay? You need to enable assertion when you are going for test, okay? And after that, you need to disable it again to get it out, okay? I'm going to show you all of it. First of all, let's get into this subject in more detail and telling you what I'm talking about. Let's talk about assertion. Okay. I'm going to talk about assertion, okay? There is a keyword in Java, it's called assert. Assert follows by your condition. Okay. Or we could have assert followed by condition, followed by colon, followed by your expression. I'm going to tell you what it means in a moment. Expression, okay? So there are two different versions of it. One is assert followed by condition, and assert followed by condition and expression, okay? Let's say I am asking you to give me your age. I'm asking you to give me your age. How old are you? How old you are, okay? And we know that age is a positive number, right? Cannot be negative. We don't have negative 5 years old. We don't have 0 year old or 0 years old. We don't have that. It should be positive, right? So when you get the age from somebody, maybe by using assertion, you're going to find out if that person has typed in the correct number or not, right? So you are getting the age into this variable, which is integer, right? You get that, right? Interactively or whatever. And finally, now you want to check if age is correct or not. You're going to use this. Assert. Let's say age greater than 0. This is your assertion, okay? Assert followed by your condition. Condition is what? Age greater than 0. So this is in your code. You're going to put this in your Java code, okay? If assertion is enabled, okay, and if the user at runtime gets the correct age, this line is quiet, nothing is going to happen. Nothing, okay? Java doesn't show any bad reaction. But however, if somebody types 0 for age or negative number for age, right away, this is going to react. And it's going to tell you that age is not 0, age is not negative or something like that. Or it's give you, it's going to complain to you, okay? Understand? So, this is one version of it. The other version is, for example, assert age greater than 0, colon, you could say 0 or negative age. You're going to provide your own error message, right? So, your own complaint, your own error message, whatever you want to call it, okay? That's what expression is all about, okay? That's what expression is all about. Now, here, when error message is displayed by assertion, in addition to the standard error message that assertion is going to display, yours will be appended to that too. So you're going to see the standard error message from assertion, followed by your error message, okay, or your message, whatever it is. Clear? Yeah. Yes.
Is this going to happen at runtime or the
Runtime. Yes. It has no effect on compile time. Okay. At runtime. And at runtime, I said if everything goes okay, the system completely ignores your assertion. No output, nothing. Okay. But if something wrong, assertion is going to be activated and it's going to show you what the problem. Yeah.
So this is like a pop-up for the users?
Pop-up for the users?
Yeah.
Why pop-up? I don't understand what you mean by pop-up. Pop-up
like
means
whoever-
the window is going to come out and something like that?
Like you're saying, like if somebody put in age, and then, you know, this is during the runtime.
Well, let's say you
how's-
have a program that is going to ask for name and age.
Uh,
When you run it, it says, hello, what's your name? You type John. How old are you? You type 25. It's an interactive program, right? And after that, it's going to check if age, that whatever you type, is positive, no problem. If it is negative or 0, right away assertion is going to give you a message. Okay? It's just checking the validity of data. Okay? So you could, this is a conditional part. Okay? And the result of this always is true or false. The result of any condition. Okay? So if the result is true, it is okay. If the result is false, right away it's going to give you a right? Yes.
is it gonna exit by right away or is it gonna continue?
Right away. Well, you mean assertion? You mean assertion? What do you mean? Assertion is gonna interrupt the program?
Yeah,
or
like
something?
exit
No,
one
no,
or.
no. Doesn't. It just continues. Okay. All of because this is good that everything is going to be continued because you're going to error. Maybe your program has several errors, right? Upon finding the first one, is not going to stop. It's going to continue to all of them.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Yeah. Yes.
When I was reading about this, it says that they were saying that I should take this out of production level code. So like, I guess like the final version code, but they said in development version to use it. Is that?
Well, good question. If you look at the professional programs written, let's say, by Google or by Sun Microsystem or by Oracle, you see even the final codes, not only the testing code, the final code have lots of assertions, okay? And they leave it there. They don't remove it. They don't comment it out. It's there. Because we have a mechanism to enable assertion or disable assertion, right? So we don't remove them. This is a good point. If you have, for example, a bunch of printf, or println, and stuff for error checking, at the end, when you want to go for production, maybe you need to comment them out, right? Or remove them. But the good point about assertion is you don't have to, because there is an automatic mechanism that you could just enable and disable. Let me show you how to do that, okay? When you are, let's say this program is called, what do you want to call it? For example, info. Let's say you have program info, so you're going to info.java, and you need to compile. You're going to use what? Java C followed by info.java. It's going to compile for you with no problem, because assertion has no effect in compile time. Okay? Now is the time to what? Run it. When you want to run it, you're going to do like that. Java dash EA. EA means enable assertion. Enable assertion, okay? Followed by info. Okay? If everything is okay, no problem. We're going to run as usual. If something wrong has happened, assertion is going to take over and it's going to display error, right? See that? And if you want to, the default is this. If you don't put this, assertion is not gonna work, because there is no, nothing is enabled, right? Life goes on. So all of these assert will be completely ignored. Completely, because you have not enabled them, okay? But you need to be careful. For some platforms, Java comes with assertion automatically enabled. Follow me? It means assertion is automatically enabled out of the box. Follow me? It means whenever you use assert, it's going to work anyway, right? So in this case, if you do not want to have assertion enabled, you want to disable it, you need to use dash DA. Dash DA means disable assertion, okay? DA means disable assertion. So for enable it, you're going to use dash EA. For disable it, you're going to use dash DA, okay? Understand? Anybody has any comment or question? By the way, instead of DA, you could write the complete word disable assertion as one word. Disable assertion with no space or anything. But why you have to type a really long word? You could just type DA, okay? Or enable assertion as one word. You could accept that, okay? The question. By the way, this condition would be very complicated if you want, right? You could make a really complicated condition. If this or this and this and this, a lot of things like that, okay? And it does the job for you very nicely.
So you could have multiple.
Pardon?
You can have multiple conditions, like
Multiple conditions?
like tons of
Of
conditions
course,
within the whole thing.
definitely, yes. You know, let me tell you, you could always imagine this is part of your if statement or part of your while loop, okay? See, when you're using if, what kind of condition you could make, right? If this and this or and this, exactly, you could put it here, right? So whatever if would accept, assert would accept. Any comment or question? No? Okay, this was about assertion, and we are using very often. Now let's get into another subject before we resume back to our subject of generics. let's say I am asking you to, let's go back to very introductory course in Java, okay? Introductory course in Java. Let's say I have a triangle like that, that is A, and this is B, and that is C, suppose. Right? Okay. A, B, and C. I give you the value for A, and I give you the value for B, and I'm asking you to calculate C, right? Hypotenuse, right? So, if you have forgotten that, I'm going to tell you the formula is C equal A squared plus B squared, right? That's a formula that we are learning in elementary school, in middle school, something like that. So far, so good? Okay. Now, I'm asking you to write a Java program to do this. Okay? So interactively, you could ask, what is A? The user types. What is B? The user type B. And now you need to calculate C. So we assume that values for A and B are given. We don't care about that, how interactively or assigning or getting from the file or whatever, but we want to calculate C, right? How are you going to do that? How are you going to calculate C? This is a formula, right? How are you going to do that? Is that very hard question? Is it very hard?
Shows math and.
So this is square root. So square root is what? This QRT, right? So let me help you. You're going to do it like that. C equal. Am I right? Math. Dot QRT. Parenthesis. A square. Math. You're going to use actually POW, this is math of POW, this is easier way to do that. Math dot POW, power of A comma 2, right? Plus math dot POW of B comma 2. Right? That's the formula. As you see here, the word math is repeated 3 times, right? Math dot. This makes your formula long, right? And if the formula was more complicated, this would be very, very long line, right? Okay? The question is, we want to find a way to get rid of math dot. It means we want to type sqrt, pow, and pow, right? Follow? How to do that? Let me show you. The point is, Java is providing specific type of import, which is called static import. Static import, okay? Okay, now I'm gonna show you how to fix this problem by using static import. At the beginning of your program, you're gonna do this. You're gonna use, for example, for that formula, you're gonna use import static. Import static Java dot lang dot math dot QRT and import static java dot lang dot math dot pow. Okay. And now, very easily, you're going to use C equal QRT of pow of A comma 2 plus pow of B comma 2. Isn't it better now? Your formula is shorter, and you have to remove all of those repetitious math, and so forth. Okay? So by doing this at the beginning, you are doing this trick works only for static items, static methods, and static constants. Okay? If you want to use pi, 3.14 something. Pi is one of the static values or static constant of math.pi, right? So you could say here static lang.math.pi, and after you're going to use pi instead of math.pi. Okay? Now, there's a shortcut to that too. If you want to make all of the math stuff static, because all of the methods and constant in math are static, right? So you could do it like that. You could remove this guy and say dot math dot star. Okay? It means all of the methods and constant and everything in math now could be used without using what? Math dot. Isn't it nice? Now, I can do something else too. If I use import static java.lang dot system dot star, okay, system dot star. There are many static methods in the system class, right? Like exit, like get property. We have been using some of them, right? Now, there is no need to use system dot. Simply you could say exit 0 instead of typing system dot exit. This, you could do the same thing for println, right? Println is system system dot out dot println, right? Okay. If you want that works, you need to. This does not work for println because this. If you want to work for println, you need to use that. Import static java.lang dot this is system
Not out.
exactly dot out dot stop.
So for
Because out is another the inner class of system, right? It doesn't work for inner class. Star doesn't work for inner class. It works only for methods and constants, right? So if you have inner class, you have to specify that inner class. Now you could say this out dot println. just save system dot. Okay. What is
Oh,
fair enough. Okay. So handy, useful, okay, to do that. And if you want to do it, no problem at all. Okay. Anybody has any comments or questions? Yes.
so the system.out is not going to work for ERR. Not.
It works the same. Well,
I have then I have to
you
import
have
the
to
ERR.
use system.err.star. Okay, because ERR is a subclass of system.
System.
Right? This is a very classic. Any other comment or question?
We still have to use out.
You have to use out. Doesn't work out. That's right. It would be ideal that only print ln would work, but doesn't. So you have to use out that. You're just saving system. Better than nothing. You don't have to read it, whatever. Okay. So two small subjects discussed. One was assertion, and the other one was static import. Right? Static. Now we get back to our main subject, and that is the story about generics. Okay. Generics. Okay. Let's I want to know where we finished last time. Okay. Now, in order to learn a little bit more about generics and repeat whatever I covered last time about generics, let's write the complete program. Okay, complete program about generics. Okay, let's say I want to make a class, the generic class, and I'm going to call it. I'm going to create something which we call it generic stack. Have you heard about stack? It's a container, push and pop from a stack. Okay, so first thing, last stop, right? Stack. So let's make a stack. What generic stack? It means this generic stack would accept any type of data. You could push names into it, you could push numbers into it, you could push whatever you want, right? This is a generic stack. And let's make it, it's going to be very interesting. Okay, see how you could do that. And after that, you're going to learn a lot about generics by just analyzing the behavior of this program, okay? I have it here, and I'm going to give it to you. Import. Java util star and public class generic stack and since it is generic, we're going to use what? E. Okay? I'm going to use an array list to create that stack. And we're pushing into the array list for stack. Private. Array list. Since it is generic, we're going to use E for element. Name of the array list AL equal new array list. This generic array list is created. Okay. Now, let's do it this way. Public integer make method get size. That is size, which is gonna be return AL dot size. Get size is gonna return the size of your stack. Okay? Now return the size of your stack. Get size. Public peak is gonna return one of the elements from stack, right? Let's see how I'm gonna implement peak. Return AL dot get size -1. Okay. You know what I'm doing? Pick is gonna pick the very last element from the stack, right? That's what I made actually get size to use it here to make the job easier. And the get method of array list is gonna pick whatever data you want to pick from your array list and return. Okay, this is what pick. Yes.
It's gonna get the first or the last one?
Get size.
Is the size gonna
Get size is, let's say your size is 5. It's going to return what?
4.
Element number 4. Element number 4 is what? Is the last item, right?
Oh, yeah, you don't like the first, no?
That is going to be pop.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to make a pop for you. Pop from pop. Pick from pop.
Okay.
I'm going to make it. So we made pick. Now let's go for push. Push into the stack, right? Public. Void. Push. And any element that you're typing is type E. Okay? Because that is generic. Any element type E. And we are using AL.add our element. For using add, we are adding to our stack, right? Into our array list, in fact. So this was about push. And now let's go for pop. Pop is exactly opposite of push. Public. E. Pop. equal AL dot remove get size -1 return O and O means object, okay? So for using pick, we can pick the item. Okay, and after that, we're using a remove method of the array list. We're going to remove the last item. Okay. That's what the pop is all about. Okay, and finally, the last item that we're going to make is empty. Public Boolean is empty. We check if our stack is empty or not. And we are returning AL dot is empty. And let's close our class. Okay? So this is our class with
Is that like Q? Because it's coming out of the stack, is that like Q?
Q. This is not a queue, this is a stack. Queue is different from stack. I'm gonna discuss about queue and stack in complete detail when I talk about collection. No, queue and stack are different. Okay? Now, let's go for some tests to see how we could test it. Use it. This is our class available to be used in our programs. Okay, whenever you need stack in your program. Okay. Generic stack strength, because our stack class is generic, we need to specify what type of data we are working with, okay? GS equal new generic stack. Okay. Object of generic stack is generated, is called GS, right? Okay. Now let's push some data into our stack. By the way, I did not make any kind of error checking or error handling or something like that. For example, when you're popping from stack, I did not make any mechanism to say that if stack is empty, you cannot pop any data, right? So you could add error checking stuff yourself if you want, but I don't have much room here and limited color available, okay? So I didn't want to add any error checking. Don't send me error message, don't send me some complaint that, Abbas, this is cause a lot of errors or something. No, we assume that no error checking is needed here. So GS dot push good GS dot push, let's say bad, some words, bad, and GS dot push, let's say nice. Okay, so 3 items are pushed into the stack, right? Good, bad, and nice. Clear? And now let's make another stack. Okay, generic. Because you're testing to see if everything works or not. Stack. This time I'm going to create a stack for numbers. Integer. I would call it GS1, suppose, okay, equal new generic stack, followed by this and this, and okay. Okay. Now let's push some numbers into it. GS1 dot push. Let's say 2. gs1.push, let's say 5, and finally gs1.push, let's say 9, and automatically the system is gonna do boxing and unboxing for us. We don't have to take care of boxing and unboxing stuff. So primitive data could be added to integer stuff, right? And the system automatically takes care of it as I explained it last time, okay? Okay. So this is the way that your generic stack is working, right? Now you could pop something from it, print it, and do whatever you want, okay? So it works great with no problem. And all of those methods could be used now if, because you have GS and you have GS1, so you could check for is empty, you could use pop and you could use peek and stuff to see how everything is working, right? Okay, now, the question is this. What's gonna happen if I create the generic stack like that? It is the object of a generic stack. What's gonna happen if I do like that? Generic stack, let's say GE equal new generic stack. Generic so what's gonna happen? Two things would happen. Either I'm gonna get error message or I'm not going to get error message, right? First of all, let's see if we get error message or not. How many of you think we're going to get warning or error message? The rest of them said we don't get any error or warning. I assume that the second group are right. It means if you run it and create something like that, you're not going to get any warning or any error message, okay? The reason that you do not get any error message or warning is that is intentional. Java designers wanted to make generics backward compatible with those old non-generic stuff. This is non-generic, right? Okay? Do you know how many millions of lines of code are available, written by many, many programmers from 20 years ago, that all of them are using non-generic stuff like this? So if Java wanted to cause problem, it will give you error or warning, you know how many lines of code should have been changed? So Java designers knew about that. And as a result, they said, okay, that is okay. So the first question they asked was, if we get error message or warning, the answer is no. No error, no warning, right? Now we get into second part. So we assume that there is no error, no warning, right? Since you have not specified what type of data you want to put or push into your array list or pop from the array list, what's going to happen? Are you going to put integer or short or long, or what are you going to put? In other words, what kind of data this line would accept? Object, okay? So the answer is, if you do not specify any data, goes for, okay? It means whatever you put into it is gonna be object type, okay? Since object is a superclass of all types, right? This would not cause any problem, okay? But later on, you need to do a lot of casting to when you're for example, popping, you do pop and cast it to string, or cast it to integer, or cast it, a lot of casting involved, right? Because these are everything in object now. You need to convert it back to integer type or what. But no, a little bit more job on your side if you do it like that, okay? Casting stuff. So far so good? Okay. It was a good example about how to make generic stuff, okay? Now, let's say I am asking you to make a constructor for our generic stack. Constructor, okay? Constructor. Let's make it default constructor. Let's make a default constructor, okay? Okay. How to do that? I'm gonna, let's say, put somewhere down here, right over here. Okay. Let's make this constructor. Generic stack. And whatever you like for default constructor do. Look, the Java view, whatever job you like, okay? For example, you can move this line, right? You can move this line into your constructor. Or what? Okay. Now, does it look good to you or not? Of course, I could say public here. Does this look good to you or not? The generic construct. You know, you're not answering my question. This is the third time I'm asking. Now, does this look good to you or not? The answer would be either yes or no.
Yes.
Okay. Looks good. If it looks good, you just use it. If it is not good, you need to find out what's wrong with it. It looks very elegant, nice, you know, what's wrong with it? So let's go for the question. How many of you agrees that this looks good and ready to be used? Let's put it this way. If I compile this program now,
I think it's
am I
missing,
going to get error message or not? Error warning.
I think it's missing void.
Where's the constructor?
Constructor doesn't have void. When you create constructor, constructor does not have any return data. Okay? How long should I wait for you?
I think it'll compile. I mean, I think
It's
it's
going to
fine.
pass the compiler,
I think it's fine.
right?
It's fine.
Ready to use, right? No, no,
No.
no.
They-
Compiler is not going to accept that. Compiler, this is a very important fact. Generic, actually, even if your class is generic, your constructor always should be non-generic. It means we do not have generic constructor. It doesn't make sense to compiler. Why? The design of Java. We do not have generic constructor. Okay? You don't believe me? Try it. It's very easy. Okay? Add this, of course, without these lines. Okay? Don't send Abbas to dashes called public. Okay? So put this into here and compile it. See what the compiler is going to tell you. So in order to make it better, I'm going to show you. You could remove this guy. That is okay. That is okay. The previous one, not okay. There's a lot of subtle things, really subtle things, a lot of them are in generics that if you do not pay attention, you're gonna get tons of warnings and errors to the point that you say forget about generics. Okay, you give up about this subject, right? Especially for the beginners that are not really familiar with all of these generic stuff, and the compiler constantly nags, constantly. Okay? So, it works now. Let's get into another question. I want to make another example for you. This time I want to teach you how to make generic methods. I did not show you how to make generic methods last time, right? Generic methods are a little bit more involved than the other stuff, okay? So let's talk about how to make generic method. I'm gonna make very simple class for you to show you how everything's gonna work. Can I delete this guy? Okay? So I'm gonna remove this stuff here because I need to show you how to use or how to make generic methods. Public class, let's say demo, and public static void main string args, suppose. Okay. And let's make a couple of array integer. Integer, suppose 3, 4, and 5. I'm not gonna get any error warning because of the boxing, auto boxing, okay? And strength. Good. And nice. Yeah. 2 arrays are made, right? Populated with that. Now, let's, okay. Now I'm gonna tell you what it is. Demo dot integer print x and demo dot string print this here and main is finished. I owe you the method print because print is the method that I need to make for you, right? So I'm going to make this method for you right over here. This is a static method, okay? So let's make this method and show you how this method works. Definitely this method is generic, okay? Because it's taking care of different data types. Okay. Pay attention to this method, public, using all you eat, but you could put as many as you want. All generic types. Clear? Okay. If print was printing, if print was returning data for you, You have to specify the type of it too. Your method could also return generic type, right? Following? So this is possible that instead of void here, I put, for example, E. It means also returns what? E, right? Or I would say K, whatever type, it doesn't matter. These two not necessarily should be the same, right? I have a question. In class of this, can I say E, comma, V?
Can't do that.
Why not?
So you only can
Because
return
that's
one
what
thing.
you-
you can't do that.
Exactly, because method returns only one item. But put two types, right? Okay? It returns only one item, not two types. This means you have two items returned, right? Only one item. So no, the answer is no. Only, okay, so the point is this. This is the type of your argument, and that is the return type. Okay? If you forget about that, as many beginners do, compiler complains that what is E? Okay? Should match. Okay? Now, let's say I put like that. Is it okay? 100% okay. It means I am making a boundary. I'm making the limitation, right? Upper bound. I say this would be what? Number only. Okay? And if I do it, it's gonna work. Right? Okay? Now, should I put E extends number here as well? Or not?
No.
No. No. Okay? Here we put that, but here you don't, because compiler by now knows what the limitation of E is, so you don't have to repeat again. Okay? Because compiler reads from left to right. Find, this is this, so you don't have to specify. If you specify, you can get error message. There are a lot of subtle, very tiny stuff are there that you need to be very careful, okay? That's what, these tiny stuff are making generics a little bit challenging, this subject, okay? Okay, so let's implement that, this guy. For integer I equals 0, I less than list of length. I plus plus. Let's print that in. This y plus space. Okay. Do you like print vertically or horizontally? Let's make it print. Print the length. By the way, instead of this, I could use for each. That you guys know for each, right? So for each is a better approach rather than that. Okay. I could say for each is much easier. Okay. Okay.
So then the for each is gonna be
Let
like
me
a
write the for each version of it for
E
you
dot
because
one.
I cannot sleep well tonight. I feel bad that I have not covered that for you, okay? So the for each version of this is this. For E
Why you use a print inside the loop and not to use println?
Because I want to print everything horizontally separate by
Oh,
space.
okay.
Let's say John, Alex, David, and finally, when the program finishes, we want to go to the next line.
Okay.
If this println says, go to the next line. Okay? You're welcome.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do you have the two-string? Is two-string needed?
What?
Two-string, is it needed? Two-string method?
No.
So you're printing, I guess whatever the object is something.
Yeah, your question about print?
Right, do you have to convert it to two-string first before?
Well, I assume that you have made those methods which I gave you at the beginning. You remember I gave you a method about print ln as a wrapper for, I wrote it down for you and print. So I assume, of course, in reality, if you don't have them, you have to type system.out.print, system.out.println, right? But in our conversation here, I do not put system.out just to save the thing. Okay. Okay. Guys, when we are using this, okay, it means any type, right? This line, this item is exactly the same as E extends they are the same. Following? This and these are the same because object is the upper bound of the same line. Finally, you can say, when you come back, I have not finished the subject of generics. I need to cover a lot of stuff for generics for you guys.